Well, I want to welcome you guys to the Power Within, and each one of you have done this course. And so we're going to go through some of the days of this course right now, and I want you to look at day one right here and take a look at that and see what your comments are here. Today starts with setting goals or beginning a new life. You know, we could start today, if you like, with a blank page. And this blank page here can be the beginning of the best day of your life. There you go, Z. Write the vision and make it plain so whoever reads it can run with it. And so I want to know what sort of a impact that's had day one. What did it have on your life, Z?
Actually, just before I did the course, I was in the stage of I was just working at a call centre. You know, that's fine for some, but I've been given a dream, given gifts of teaching dance and seeing people grow like in God and singing as well. And I came to that place where, like, what am I doing? I'm sitting at a call centre and I've got this dream and I need to start, you know, doing it.
For me, I've never been really a vision and goal setting person. So to actually sit down and write out what it is that I'm doing was kind of a bit difficult at first, you know. I feel I need to do it because otherwise I just can wander around not really having any set direction.
My husband and I and our two sons have recently returned from working with church planting teams in Mexico. And it's been a bit of a struggle for me this year because I'm thinking, God, what do you want now? Where do you want me? And again I come back to right where you are, what's in your hand, use it.
Well, I was very challenged. I'd just seen a blank bit of paper and that resembled to me a fresh start. And so to go forward, I realised that there's a few things I had to let go of. And so I was hanging out with God and He got a bit deep on me. And so God's been going deep, showing me that I've had a few wrong beliefs and a few wrong systems. And so, yeah, I suppose the new goals for me is very challenging because it's a fresh start.
The moment you set a goal, you put it in your mind. The moment you put a date by it, it's in your mind and it starts happening. So that's it. And ask the Holy Spirit to go with you and it happens.
Today I want to challenge you on the thought of visualising and affirming the goals we set yesterday. We wrote them on that blank sheet, which for the next 21 days is going to increase. And we're going to release more of us than we ever have before. So why don't we start at the other end? Dave, why don't you tell us what day two, how you've felt going through that?
I was in some worship and I started confessing and I was like, just sort of some hopes that I'd given up on, some dreams I'd given up on. And I was like, Lord, and I started confessing, God, I want to preach the gospel. God, I want to see miracles. God, I want to see healings. And it's so funny because once I started confessing it, is that night, the leadership in the church got together. And so I was confessing, God, I want to preach the gospel. I find out the next day that they had a meeting and I get to do my testimony the following Sunday.
Every time I watch anything to do with feeding the poor in Africa, I just weep, eh? It absolutely breaks my heart, you know. So I know God's planted something in my heart about going eventually to Africa, and that's ultimately where I want to go. You've got to point your life in the direction you believe God's showing you and then just go for it, you know.
So I was always like, I've written this down, I know it's God's thing, so I tell people, oh my gosh, like, you know, this is the vision, but it's from God. And then at church, we're having this fashion show, and the proceeds are going towards Zion's dance studio. And I'm sitting on the side of the stage going, okay, God, sure. But it's going to happen, you know? And that was his seed going, okay, now's the time.
Today we're speaking about dealing with the critical spirit. To do that, you've got to get rid of this bag of rubbish you're carrying around. Why don't we start with you, Ellie, and just tell us how you've had to deal with maybe negative or critical stuff in your own life and live on for the future.
That has been a huge challenge for me, but one that only the grace of God has brought me through. And so this part of the course for me is very hugely impacting because you know what? I don't want to grow old and be a bitter old woman. Yeah. That would suck. That would be terrible.
Your past so hinders you and holds you back into the things that God's got, you know. The power of words, you know, the power of life and death is in the tongue, you know. Having a father that was quite harsh and hard on me, you know, always negative, everything I did was wrong, you know, and so having to get rid of that stuff, you know, like I can't carry that with me. If I want to go ahead in what God's got, then I need to lay that stuff down, you know.
And it's only like 16 months ago I was sitting in a jail cell, giving my life to Jesus, you know, and out of that, like I went into a Christian rehab. And I would have thought that Jesus hanging out with the disciples, they would have had it all together, all would have got on. But this was a rehab with 12 other guys, and I was reading we weren't really getting on with each other and that. And so I had a look in the Bible and it says, bear with one another. And so I'm reading, far out, bear with one another, and I just wasn't bearing with these people. I wanted to smash them, I wanted to attack them, and so I really think that God was challenging me that day, how much grace are you giving towards these people? And look what I've done for you. Are you going to say that, hey, listen, when you ask for forgiveness, I forgive you, but I don't forgive them? Which is the way of looking at it, and so I think sometimes if we just change our eyes for his eyes, then it can deal with the critical spirit in a big way. It's hard to do, but it's life-giving, and you see potential in people rather than negative, which is cool.
It is the most significant thing, releasing this critical spirit, really releasing it. And we release it very simply by asking God, asking the Holy Spirit, please release this critical spirit in us. And you know what? He does, straight away.